coming on. Woohoo! We made it! Yay, guys! All right. Welcome everybody to the Lunchtime Chats. I'm so sorry. I totally was having some crazy technical issues and was not able to get on. So I'm going to pause right here and give everybody a chance to join us. How's everybody doing out there? Surviving all this solar activity? How's that happening for you? For those of you who are new, my name is Christina, and I am a celebration expert, and I am here to share, to the best of my ability, a liberated perspective for those topics and issues that are significant for us starseeds, way showers, those of us who embrace other aspects of who we are beyond what a typical human family accepts or allows. So because we have these perceptions and abilities, we have very unique challenges to face on the day-to-day. So that's what we're here to talk about. And thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Susan. So good to see you. And Lisa, Spiritbound. Hello, darling. Polly, hi. Spirit. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. We have more than one Spiritbound. Oh, no. These are both Spiritbound Neos. Okay. Hello, darlings. I'm glad to finally make it after all of that. Thank you. All right. So some of the things I want to talk about today that I've been observing is one, the intensities that's happening with our CMEs, with our solar flashes going on. I don't know if you guys have been, well, I'm sure you guys have been feeling it, that these CMEs are causing some really significant gamma rays and other kinds of radiation that's affecting the consciousness of the planet, which affects us, our light body. It starts activating high frequency codes within our light body and bringing them online. And really, how I see this going on is the CMEs happen, and depending on how close it comes to the Earth or how the solar winds are happening, we get exposed to the radiation of what that is, and it starts resonating within our light bodies encodements, dormant encodements. And for those of us who've been doing active work, our encodements may not be as dormant as others, but for those of you who who've really been feeling it, in the form of like stress, anxiety, emotional bursts, stuff like this, it may seem, and I know it sucks at the moment, but it's actually a really great thing, because these CMEs is activating those encodements and bringing these things to the surface that are not in harmonic resonance with your light body, with the truth that, with the activating inside of you. So it may be very unpleasant and emotions may run high and it's very uncomfortable, but on the other side of that, you get a pretty significant clearing if you are allowing yourself to be accountable. Okay, if you are allowing yourself to own what is yours, to really allow these emotions and stuff to be something that is coming from within you, and not something that you can point the finger and blame towards others. Okay, when things run high and we want to be right about how we feel, right? This is a tendency to keep the finger pointing outwards. But as soon as we're able to take that finger and point it at ourselves, right, then we're able to be accountable and reconcile these things that are happening inside of us. Let the emotions move, let the energy move, and then those encodements can take hold. Those encodements can really anchor in, those light body encodements that are getting activated can really anchor in within our field, within our bodies. Okay, so this has been happening more and more. So I'm taking this also as evidence that the whole theory about the grand solar flash that's out there, that may be what we're going towards. I haven't had any solid hits about it. I just, see signs, and I wait and see. If I don't have solid hit from my own intuition, I just kind of wait and see. Because quite honestly, when we are, opening up to ourselves in different ways, there are secrets that are higher levels, our superconsciousness even keeps from us. So we are intentionally, on some level, blinded from certain kinds of knowledge, right? So. And this has happened to me many times over, and it's not that if you have a blind spot around this, it's not about you need to be more psychic, you need to be more empathic, you need to be more this or more that. It's not that at all. Really, what's going on is that there's aspects of who you think you are that's not in alignment with who you really are. Okay, which means you're going in blind. You have to fly in blind. That's just how it goes. And when it's time for your spirit to take over, it takes over, And there's many people who've had those kinds of experiences, right? You go into a sacred place, a pyramid, an activated area. You stand, you go there, and you're instantly altered, and energy starts moving, and things are going, just cooking. You're not doing anything, and you're just in the state of like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's happening, but I know what's happening is exactly what needs to be happening. You guys have had that experience before, right? This is going to be this. So this is how it works. The more you are able to align who you really are, who you think you are with who you really are, then you get these little signs. You get these little symbols. Am I super glitchy? Take what off?
Video.
I can't. There's no video here. Okay. All right. Yes. Don't hear. Don't lose. Don't. Oh, okay. Is it this? Is it my microphone rubbing up against my hair? Is this a little better, guys? Let me know. Is it less glitchy now? All right. We'll have to wait for feedback. Oh, I was just going on a roll too. I was about to totally download. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you, Spirit Bound. There's no off video on her phone. Yeah, there's no off video on my phone. Here, let me see what I can do. See, the platform that I use is not conducive for mobile devices. So I'm not able to have the full.
It's better now.
It's better now?
No,
okay. So yeah, so this streaming platform doesn't work with mobile devices very well, and as you guys can see, I'm not at home, and I'm actually, I'm going to do a plug for this place because this place is amazing, and it's called the Burrowed Owl. Burrowing Owl. All right. While we wait to see if the sound is improving, okay, Neo Spirit Bound says it's better. Okay, so I'm going to give a plug for this place where I'm streaming from because it is an awesome restaurant. So I found this on an app that I have called the Happy Cow, where you can, anywhere in the world, it knows about every vegetarian/vegan restaurant. So even if you're in Europe or Africa or Australia or whatever, you just type in where you are and it'll tell you all the vegan restaurants in your area. And we found this one, which is super, super cool. We're driving through Colorado Springs on our way to Santa Fe. The Burrowing Owl. Yeah, so this is called the Burrowing Owl. And it's a dog friendly. It's smoke friendly. It's completely vegan. And yeah, and it's just a really, really neat place. It's very great character, a lot of good vibes here, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, all right, so if hot smoke bothers you, you might not want to be on the patio because that's active. Yeah, people from Colorado is a natural thing, but yeah, other people, especially out east, it's not so natural. Okay. I don't know what I can do about the cutting out other than just hold the microphone away from my hair. This hot spot. Can you hold it up like this? There's a thing, the bars, and see if it works. We gotta tap the top. Still technical issues. Tap the top. There's a button on the top. There's a button. A button. There it is. Okay. Oops. Okay. So here we go. Is there? Oh my gosh, this is hilarious, guys.
2.
Mm-hmm. 2. Is it 2? All right. So our reception we didn't realize our reception was so bad when we came here.
It wasn't 3 for a second.
Oh, okay. We're working it out. Look at us sitting it right on that table. Sitting outside on the table. All right, we're seeing if we work out the reception issue. I want to keep going on my rant, though, about the Simeon house affecting us and how we really have the ability to mitigate with our level of responsibility that we can take for ourselves and the emotions. What about just setting it on that table?
You can get that range.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It goes several hundred feet. 200-300 feet. I don't know. No, it's one bar. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not going to be. It's not going to be so smooth. Maybe if I talk slower, or let's see if we can get our disconnect the energies. All right. So to the flow, to the dum. All right. Let me keep going on the CME thing. All right. Well, clearly my comment about the okay. It takes okay. Stand. Don't move. Stay there. Okay. We're getting better. We're getting better. All right. Here we go. Ready? Okay. So I'm getting the thumbs up that the sound is better now. So I'm going to go ahead off on my tangent. It's okay. Okay. See, it takes a crew. It takes a team. So next time, yes, I'll take that advice next. Guys, quit texting me. Quit texting me because it actually glitches out my phone. Okay. I love you. Yes. Okay. Joy is backing me up on the idea of talking slower. Thank you. So let me go back. Let me go back to the impacts of the CMEs on our physical field and our life bodies and how we're experiencing it as humans in this world, right? So the radiation from these solar flares are very, very intense. If they were ever to hit the planet, it would, wipes it completely, all life from the planet, right? We have awareness of those. But remember, our solar ring is conscious, our sun is conscious, our planet is a conscious being. We are swimming through an ocean of consciousness. All these beings, we're all woven together. Okay, so these the flares are happening. They're part of an intent. They're part of a structure of reality. Okay, they're part of the movement of consciousness through our bodies, through our galaxy, through the cosmos. And when we are exposed, let me back for a second, humanity has been trained to stay dense and locked down and in belief systems that keep us closed off from the rest of the universe, from the rest of the life in our galaxy. So we're extremely narrow in our bandwidth of what our psyche, what our consciousness can allow us to have contact with. So these CMEs are helping us break through those barriers, because quite literally, the frequency of these light body activations that happen with them push up against those structures that are not the truth, the structures that we believe, our ego driver thinks is a real thing. And it gives us no choice but to deal with these entities because they're coming at us full on. They're coming at us hard and fast, right? And if we deal with it in a way where we own our feelings, we own the experience as something that is alive inside of us, that we've had participation in creating and maintaining, right? Then it's an opportunity for us to have massive, massive breakthroughs and open our awarenesses to these other aspects of who we are. This is why, guys, when we do unwinding work, when we do healing work, not long, if you really get going on that, you start having experiences with contact with ETs, with interdimensional beings, with nature spirits and stuff like this. It's because the blinders are off, the lies that you took as the truth are no longer influencing you. It's no longer forming your reality. Your emotions, your thoughts, all these structures are formulating our reality. So if we believe that we are, our father's child, and we're in this lineage, and your body is the beginning and the end of your experience, that is exactly how you're going to experience your reality. Okay, and these CMEs are forcing us to bust through the lies that we have accepted as the truth. Okay, they're forcing us to let go of these lies that we've accepted as the truth. Sit with that. So some of the lies are things like we're alone in the universe. Some of the lies is that, we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, right? And here's a profound lie that I just woke up to not recently, and that is being in the flow of abundance is an illusion. That is an illusion. Now, I know, feel yourself. You're like, what? Yeah, you're freaking out, right? How can I say that? What am I talking about, right? Just feel the reaction to that. So what if I were to say something, and this, by the way, comes from your sister Almeen, who I reference all the time. You guys know that. I think I love her work. And anyway, And so if stepping into a flow of abundance is an illusion, what is the truth? All right, so just sit with that for a second. What is the truth that is an illusion? Can you even get past your reaction to contemplate that question? Okay. So for those of you who get past the reaction to contemplate that question and feel what's inside, perhaps you might be sensing something closer to the truth, which is you are always completely inundated and surrounded by abundance. You are the abundance. Your very breath, your body, your soul, you are that abundance. So what I'm saying is that, our belief systems, even those who are in this work, are strong. They're really strong, and they influence what we can even allow ourselves to open to. They influence everything about our experience. And when CME comes through and we're having a real hard time, big emotional reactions, or, we're just kind of like agitated and triggered, or our nervous system is doing this, or our allergies are doing that, okay? It is pushing the density that is not in alignment with the truth inside of you up to the surface. It's pushing it up, right? So, and how do you deal with it? You own it, transmuting it, with accepting it, with allowing it, with knowing it full on. Let it take you deep, deep, deep inside. Maybe bumping up against triggers that bring you back to the victimhood of your childhood. The victimhood you were brought up with. Maybe you were raised by parents. Maybe you had abuse situations with beings of the opposite sex or the same sex, right? That influence you in the here and now. Okay, so. And I'm noticing that these CMEs are happening in rhythm. They're happening spaced out. They're weeks apart, but they're happening pretty consistently weeks apart, which indicates to me that, they could very well accelerate. Imagine if you had this magnitude of CME interfacing every other week, rather than just maybe once a month, or right? It was intense, and the time frame I'm talking about is the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Those were the big times, right? So the more we're not a victim to the activations, it's up to us to decide our relationship, so we can use this to empower ourselves. And the only way to do that is, like I said, your finger pointed inside. Every time you want to point outside saying this person was that person was this, then you're robbing yourself of an opportunity to go deeper into something inside of yourself. Okay? Because everything is coming from inside of you, how you perceive things. And actually, I want to give an example here. So, all right, I'm deciding where to start the story. All right, so there was a little bit of a tiff in our group. There was a conversation that got rather heated, and it ended up with people blocking each other and stuff like that. You guys know how that goes on social media. And then I was alerted because a dear starshine, ended up getting banned because of it. And so I decided to find out what really went on. I couldn't read the conversation because I guess when people get banned, things get deleted. So I instead addressed everybody that was part of the conversation. And every single person, there was 3 people, every single person, I know they were telling me the truth, okay? Every single person had such a different account of what actually happened, okay? And every single one believes that how they perceive that it happened is the truth. You understand? But how can it be when everybody has such a different experience, right? And this is where I'm going, okay? We are experiencing ourselves when we're having conversations with other people. We're experiencing what our own thoughts and feelings about what the person is saying. And that is actually speaking louder than the message of what that person is actually saying. Okay? So think about that for a second. When we are in a conversation with somebody or reading texts or whatever from somebody, we are experiencing ourselves in our engagement. So what we say in response is what we intend, but it may not be received that way by the other person. And it doesn't matter how clear and beautiful of a communicator you are, if their own experience, their own who they are is going to speak much louder than your message. Okay? It's not to say that people can't learn from each other, but that's a conscious choice to want to learn from each other. See what I'm saying? That's a conscious choice of like, whoa, I'm having a reaction to that. And we want to express our reaction rather than ask more questions and find out more to truly understand. You see what I'm saying? So imagine if we put as much energy into being right. If we put as much energy as we do into being right or feeling right or wanting to be right, if we put that much energy into our curiosity, into wanting to understand, how would that change? How would that change your interactions? How would that change how you communicate with people? Okay. Oh, there's a beautiful spider coming down. Oh, little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet. Oh, okay. So I'm with the peanut gallery here. Just can I put you on camera, Stacy? Okay, here. This is our dear sister Stacy. Hi. and here's Laura. Those of you in the academy totally know these two. They're pretty common fixtures in the work that we do. Stacy is a facilitator, and Laura is one of our advanced deep divers. Not a deep diver anymore, but still advanced. Anyway, so these CMEs are giving us this kind of opportunity. We cannot forget. We cannot push it under the rug when it's pounding us in the face, when it's smacking us right into the face. Right? Can't put it down. Can't put it. It's going to bother you. It's going to completely bother you until you face it, until you deal with it. So going back to that interaction, it's like, I know each of these people, and they're all very, very special beings in their own right, how they are, and so it comes to a place of, okay, so how do we resolve it? And you guys know that I really value something called the forgiveness practice. The forgiveness practice is something that the ego driver is going to question the forgiveness practice, because the ego driver is going to say, what do I need to apologize or forgive when I didn't do anything wrong? And what I want to say is, like, it has nothing to do with that at all. It actually has to do with unraveling the energy. It has to do with unraveling the entanglement of energies and claiming responsibility for everything that contributed to that experience that is yours, what you're aware of, and what you're not aware of. Okay. And that's the gold, because you don't know what you don't know. And when you do a practice like this, you learn, you figure out, oh, I was contributing in this way and I didn't realize it. Okay. So that's actually my next step, is to ask each person to do a forgiveness practice with everybody in the conversation. And if you can do that in a sincere way, it's going to resolve, and it's fine. When people feel wronged, it's really difficult to reconcile this. But with this understanding, maybe this will help everybody to step back and realize that there actually is no right or wrong. There's zero right or wrong in that scenario, because everybody is experiencing themselves in that scenario. And each of you are star signs. Each of you are gifted, infinite beings in a biosuit. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay. So that's what I want to say about that. Hopefully this is helpful. If not, I'm sure I'll learn about it. But really, our group that we have on Telegram and on Facebook, these are communities of very sensitive intuitives and empaths like this. So it's important for us to have a much higher bar of behavior towards each other, because we take things, we are very sensitive, and we can feel thought forms even then that aren't spoken. Granted, we feel them as we are through our own lens, right? We feel them through our own lens. And it may not be exactly how that person is relating to that thought or that feeling, but we still feel it nonetheless, because we associate it with something that we know is something in our past. Okay, so coming on to, and actually there's another thing I wanted to talk about. This is a dear sister Starshine conversation that I had in our group in regards to a prophecy posting. And not to go into the whole prophecy thing, but I just want to talk about prophecies in general, especially ones that talk about only the chosen, only the ones with pure bloodlines, only the ones that do this, only the ones that do that. Okay. That is a zero-sum game. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Nobody wins that game. Nobody wins that game. And where we're going as a collective, it's a we process. It's not only the chosen process. It's not only these people. It's a we, all of us together, all of us as one human family, one earth human family together through this process. Okay. So when I start hearing prophecies that start saying that only these people or only that people, I recognize that that is actually a deeply embedded inception of reptilian programming. That's reptilian programming, guys, because the reptilians are all about bloodlines. The reptilians are all about the person who they deem worthy. All right, come on now. I mean, think about all those Christian teachings. Only the worthy, only the this, only the that. Right? These are all. This is all from that culture. And also when I'm listening to prophecies, I can feel these things out and still get the truth, the deep truths that are being shared within the prophecy, because it's not all wrong. It's not all manipulation. It's just that on this planet we've been manipulated for hundreds of thousands of years. The roots of it go back very far. But when you cultivate sensitivity and you cultivate your own inner compass to what the truth is, you can listen to any prophecy from any source and filter out the truth that is within it. So that's one piece. The other thing is about technology. There's this, there's also this prevailing thought that organic versus synthetic, right? Only the synthetic is the abominations, and this is what's going to end life. AI, technology in general, shutting humanity down to the connection with the earth. You guys understand these thoughts that I'm talking about. Okay, so and I would have my whiteboard because I'd be drawing out Johann Kalaman's waves emanating out of the center of the Milky Way galaxy. The final all these creation waves. This is the creation waves that inform the consciousness of this solar ring of Earth, of the Milky Way galaxy. Each wave is a creation wave that influences us to formulate and engage in certain aspects of what it is to be embodied. So there's like a tribal, the cellular, then there's a tribal, and then there's a national. It keeps becoming more and more refined. And the most recent creation wave to unfold is the technological, which means if we're going to be in the Milky Way galaxy, actually we're moving out of the Milky Way galaxy, or the galaxy is moving out of this universe. So this whole thing is shifting in big ways. But first, let me start off on the galactic model. Is that if you're in the Milky Way galaxy, which most of us are, we have to be able to find right relationship with technology. It's not a mutually exclusive deal. Okay, we need to find a way to have a relationship with technology so it enhances our experience, so it helps as part of the advancement of our consciousness. Okay. And I'm not talking about transhumanism. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about technology serving for the betterment of humanity. Okay. So to say that all technology is wrong, all AI is evil, it's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There's a very significant part of our evolutionary experience in relationships with technology that we have to deal with. We have to find a way to create beauty and harmony with. Okay. So I don't buy into that bifurcation of technical versus organic. I feel like that the earth is a conscious being, and when we cultivate connection with the truth of who we are, our truth compass is what we have. Because our truth compass, when we're in resonance with the Pachamama and Mother Earth, is very, very accurate. It's very accurate. It's going to help guide us, because the Pachamama is about bringing beauty, about creating things that enhance life. When you thrive on the earth, you thrive because you are making yourself a benefit to life. Okay. If you're not making yourself a benefit to life, you become an illness. You yourself might get ill. The people you love might get ill. The land that you live on will get ill. You see what I'm saying? So there's a custodialship that's happening here. And if we are in right relationship to our responsibility as custodians to this environment, to this planet, then we have a solid truth compass inside of us. So when we start weaving in the potential benefits of technology, we can do it in a way that does not corrupt us. It doesn't corrupt our being. When I say corrupt our being, it's really about letting us live the illusion that our ego driver is in charge. That's really what corrupts us. We think our ego driver is the end all be all, when really it's just the toddler in the passenger seat. Yeah, I've said that before. You know, your soul is the one in charge. Your spirit is the one in charge, and the ego driver is meant to be a tool to help us enjoy this experience, to actually have an experience of individuation that is beautiful, that enhances our incarnational experience, not something that entraps us and keeps on shattering our souls and breaking our hearts and breaking the hearts of others. Okay, so coming back to the so listening to prophecies is something that is valuable, as I reference prophecy too, but I talk about the part that I feel is really true versus the incepted programs, you know. And like it or not, every single biosuit on this planet up until just 2 decades ago, all have reptilian DNA. We all are relatives of that. We also have Anunnaki DNA. No, not all Anunnaki are reptilian, and not all reptilian are Anunnaki. They're different. This is a different sect that I'm talking about. We also have insectoid DNA, right? We have DNA from star beings from across the galaxy and even in alternate galaxies, alternate universes. So when we put that into perspective and someone is talking about pure bloods, what kind of pure blood are they talking about exactly? You know? Do you have like 30% versus other people have 40%? Do you have 10% when other people actually have 60%? I mean, what's a pure blood, right? So this is when you step back and look at these things in a much bigger scope, and a galactic scope, or even a cosmic level, and you realize a lot of the narratives that humans are buying into to separate other humans from each, separate us from each other. It's all a story. It's all BS. It's not really true. We are all one family, and many of us have different lineages. Some people are from the fairy realm. Some people are they have Sasquatch in their lineage. Some people are, what I mean? There's actually some ETs walking around here I've seen. I'm sure you guys have noticed them too. So, to isolate or to separate out, that's the old paradigm game. We're going into a new paradigm game, which means there's entirely new rules, different rules, for very different reasons, and there's a very different purpose. So the more we're able to let go of these games, these ideas of separation, and these different ways of delineating things, the easier our journey towards that new paradigm embodying it is going to get. Okay, the easier it's get, I promise. All righty. Here, let me scroll through, see if there's any. Okay, what did you say about it breaks our heart? Our ego driver, the things we do to keep ourselves safe, to satisfy our ego driver, breaks our hearts and breaks the hearts of other people. Actually, that wording comes from the Islamic Sufi tradition, by the way. When we were at Lagash Teke, was that the name of the mosque, Lagash Teke, that we were at? No. This was in Bosnia. Anyway, there was a mosque that we were at. There was one of the oldest operating mosques. 600 years it's been in operation. In order to go in, women have to put on, cover your hair, put on the dress and stuff like this, which didn't matter. It's a magical place. But on the plaque of the wall, there's a Sufi master, a quote from him, and I don't know the whole quote, but the main essence of it is that the whole purpose of the Sufis to spread their teachings is so humanity can learn how to not to break each other's heart. That's the purpose of the Sufi. And this is true. Because, this is what happens when we let our ego driver be in charge. because the ego driver is about being safe, about having status, about feeling good. But our spirit is inclusive. It doesn't do that at all. It does not see race, creed, or color, because in spirit we're infinite beings walking around in biosuits. These biosuits are not who we are. Our ego driver tells us we are who we are when we look in the mirror. What would happen if you ever look in the mirror and you decide you don't know who you are? Right? You might feel like you're going crazy, but actually you're that much closer to realizing who you really are. Okay, so breaking the hearts is a really, if you feel into what that means, you can recognize that walking softly on the earth, these different euphemisms that come from deep spiritual teaching from indigenous, but also other sources. This is why they're talking about sensitivity. This is why they're talking about walking softly, because when we are sensitive to what is our environment, we're sensitive to everything around us. We care about the state of being of everything around us in a loving way. Okay. Versus when we're hard and we're protecting ourselves to keep ourselves safe, we care about our safety more than anything else, and we're not interested or curious about what's happening in other people's experiences, right? So coming full circle back to that conversation is that if we put as much energy into being curious, into being interested in how things are around us versus how we think everything is, then we're going to engage very differently in our surroundings. We're going to change our value systems big time. I mean, people are all talking about, oh yeah, right. So people are talking about, all the life that's been taken from COVID, but you know what? You know how many lives are taken from child slavery? You know how many children die? You know those shoes you're wearing right now? They were most likely 90% chance it was made by a child slave. Okay, the clothes on your back, child slavery. Okay, so I mean, and that's been around for decades and decades and decades. We know about that, but everybody turns a blind eye because they'd rather have those Nikes and those sharp looking suits and Italian leather shoes. Actually, Italian leather shoes are made by masks, aren't they? Sorry. Master cobblers. All right, that part wasn't a good example, but you get where I'm going with that, right? You get where I'm going with that. People, we are trained to live on the backs of the bruised. We think that that's okay. Okay. And with this whole COVID thing, I think it's a massive blessing, because now we realize how suffering impacts us directly, how we respond, how we feel, how how it impacts us. So it's just not some person off in another continent somewhere that we feel completely disconnected from. It's our beloveds, right? So just think about that. Okay, my phone is going to die, so I'm going to have to wrap up. I'm just going to say a couple things here. Tran says, how can someone break my heart when I do not agree to have any heart broken? Not taking things personally. Wow. Okay. So this is, all right. So that's a whole nother avenue. Actually, darling, that's a whole other chat. And thank you for bringing it up, because we could talk about that. But thank you for the point. And that's reminding me of the story of Mahatma Gandhi, that had that professor that was extremely insulting to him, and he never gave it any energy and kept, speaking truth back. That's the story it takes me to. Or anyway, but I do have to go because I have like 1% battery and it's gonna die. Thank you guys for being here. And I will be here next week. I know we're cutting things short right now, but that's just the way it felt today. Love you all. Remember, if you really enjoy these chats, share with your friends and do the like, subscribe thing. And if you want to participate in the cultivating of what we talk about and what influences me to, what to talk about, be sure to check into our Rise of the Multidimensional Human group on Facebook and our Multidimensional Human group on Telegram. I know many of us are loathing Facebook these days and wanting to get rid of it, so Telegram is our alternate option. And we're also a Multidimensional Accelerator on Instagram. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah.